What up, my people? So earlier, um, this month in the monthlies, I said that I wanted to do a reading that maybe would kind of help show us where we are stuck, where we're dealing with obstacles, what kind of keeps us fucked up or has us fucked up. So that being said, some of these readings may trigger you. They may bring out things that you have to deal with, maybe you don't want to deal with, things that maybe need to be addressed that you're not ready to address them. Um, could bring up some traumatic experiences or memories of traumatic experiences. So, my disclaimer would be if you're not ready to deal with certain things, if you feel like you're in a vulnerable place right now, are you sensitive? I would say don't even look at the video. Some of you may already be dealing with some of this, and maybe you don't want to have this thrown back up in your face. It may not be a major thing, but for some people, I mean, you could be really sensitive and it could trigger you. So if you do feel like you're in a vulnerable space, I would suggest don't even watch the video if you feel like you could be triggered. Now, on the other hand, if you are stuck, you don't know why you're stuck, and you're trying to figure out how to move forward, then if you're willing to maybe have to do some work, put in some work towards your healing, then this may actually be a really great guide to help you navigate out of your situation. Like I said, use your discernment. If spirit says this is something that you need to watch, watch it. If not, then don't. All right. So that being said, I know some people, and I'm going to try something different. Let's see if we can move it down. Some people were like, we want to see you shuffle and pull the cards out. And that's a really nice boob shot. Thank God they are covered up for once in this. So we're going to go ahead and see for Libra. Now, I'm going to be using the Osho Zen Tarot, and I'm also going to be using the Tough Shit Tarot. Tough Shit is a little bit direct. This one is a little bit more, I don't want to say delicate because I use it for a lot of psychological readings to help me know why people do what they do. So I think it's really pretty clear cut. So for Libra, what has Libra stuck? What's fucking Libra up this month? And I feel like it's best to go with a Libra first. So I figure I'll put my shit out there first. No shame in my game. Let's see. For some of you, I feel like one of the main issues that some Libras may be dealing with within this situation is not being authentic, presenting yourself to people in different ways. You may have 5 different personalities that you're dealing with or you're showing people. So some of you may really be struggling with finding your own identity within your family, your relationship with your coworkers. There could be some that are really trying to get a grasp on being more authentic. So for some Libras, you could be definitely dealing with, I want to say, not being completely comfortable in your skin. You may be having that issue. Let's see. For some of you, I feel like you could be holding on to past hurts, past relationships, things that you can't let go of. There could even be petty situations where you just get triggered and it opens it back up. You can't let go of it. You may be obsessed with certain things in your life that you keep going back to the back. Well, it's 2019, but in 2017, you said this, and now we reopened it. So some of you may be having this phase where you keep reopening old beefs, old situations, old things that you feel like were not put to rest. Some of you may be having a hard time putting things to rest. Libra, 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 Libra. So let's see what we got. We got the letting go card. Moment to moment. Exhaustion. Spirit guidance. Going with the flow. Aloneness. Harmony. Healing. Success. Fighting. Adventure. The rebel. Past lives. All right. So that's from Osho Zen. Let's see what Tough Shit Tarot. Libra, 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 Libra. And I want to try to keep these. I want to kind of keep them to 10 minutes. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's not going to work. What do we say? Opening up all stuff and triggering people, and then I'm trying to keep it 10 minutes. That's unrealistic, right? Libra, Libra, Libra. Messages for Libra spirit. What does Libra need to work on? What does Libra need to work on? All right. We got pride. We got mommy issues. We got daddy issues. We have control issues. We have childhood trauma. We have asserting ourselves. We have holding on to friends longer than what we need to. And then we have high standards. So, sounds like a Libra, right? Let's get into it. Okay, so let's go to Oshu first and deal with that. Oshu, some of us may have a problem with clinging to old patterns. We don't want to let go of things. Like I said in the beginning, some of us could be rehashing things over and over again. Well, I know I said that I was going to let this go, or I know I said I wasn't going to fuck with this again, but here I go dealing with it again. Some Libras are going to be definitely connected with past. Now, with the childhood cards, for some of you, you definitely could be dealing with issues with your mother or your father. Some of you may have come from a very dysfunctional upbringing. If not, you could have come from an upbringing where I feel like a parent was absent, whether this was the mother or whether this was a father. There was something that threw you out of balance. So some Libras could be dealing with growing up in a household where they felt out of balance. That could have been where the control issues appeared at the beginning, where it's like, okay, I feel out of control, so let me start manipulating things to make myself be in control. Some of you definitely could have had some issues with a father or a father figure in your life, whether this was somebody who was a little bit too strict or too stern with the way that they live their life. Some of you may be, especially if you're a male Libra, could be having issues with trying to live up to a father's upbringing. What did they want? How did they treat their family? What did they do to their family? For some of you, you literally could be dealing with somebody that was a womanizer, somebody that was a little bit of a controlling person. And I feel like this father could have been more controlling because of the things that he wanted to do and have the freedom to do, which could have caused some of you to be in a situation where there was divorce, where you may have dealt with a parent who put themselves ahead of the family unit. And some of you may have this issue and you may despise that about yourself. For a female, some of you may find yourself gravitating towards men that are like this because you grew up with a parent who was doing this. I do see for some Libras, there could be overwork, and that goes back to with the control issue. Some of you may be trying to push yourself forward, but you're doing it in a way where there could be overextending yourself, overworking yourself. For some of you, I feel like you may have grown up in a situation where somebody told you weren't good enough. They didn't give you your attention or your accolades, or they didn't show that you were appreciated. So I feel for some of you as adults, you are overextending yourself to make people look at you like, pay attention to me. Give me the pat on the head. Give me the pat on the back. Look at my accomplishments. Look at what I have created. And some of you as adults are still not getting this. So you're pushing yourself more and more for accolades, probably from your peers. Some of you, I feel like there's a pride connection to it where you don't even want to ask people for help. You don't want to seem weak. You don't want to appear weak. So for some of you, you may be overzealous with your work and what you're thinking. And it's because you don't want people to see you in a vulnerable state. So some of you may overcompensate and even become narcissistic because you're trying to control things and you want to be seen in a certain way. Some Libras definitely are looking for success. And it wouldn't surprise me because a lot of us we enjoy the attention. Not every Libra is an extrovert. A lot are introverts, but there's still an aspect of yourself where you want to be seen, and you want to be seen in a favorable light. You want to be seen with good status. For some of you, I feel like this is what motivates you. It pushes you out there. It makes you work hard because you want to be successful. There's a big draw towards money for a lot of you. And I feel like it's because maybe you didn't understand love, you didn't get love. So what you connect with and what you understand is how to work yourself to get more money, but not necessarily how to have committed relationships with people. There is a need for a lot of us to heal the inner child. There is this overwhelming push to do something to be successful so that people can look at us and we can be validated. I feel for some of you, there is definitely some issue with anger, and it's because of, I feel, the upbringing. For some Libras, I feel like growing up, you felt like you didn't have a voice. You couldn't say what you wanted to say. You may have felt like there was an issue where you weren't appreciated or you weren't allowed to express yourself. So I feel for a lot of Libras, what really motivates you is that saying, I can show you better than I can tell you. It's like you're trying to prove something, whether this is to yourself or to other people. But it could be fueled by anger. Some of you may really be pushing yourselves forward because of something that happened to you in your childhood, and you're trying to show either a parent or show a family that I can be better. I can be better. You could be dealing with also with people that are trying to, with the word be, invalidate, make you feel small, make you feel like you're powerless. And some of you could be going up against that, and that's what's driving you to success. I can show you better than I can tell you. Stop fucking with me. Some of you, I feel like you're having a hard time living from day to day. It's almost like, okay, what am I going to be doing next week? What am I going to be doing next month? I feel like it really is pushed towards money. It's not just to have your status out there. And that's crazy because as a Libra, money is not really, I needed to pay my bills and everything, but it doesn't motivate me. Success does. And I can relate to a lot of this because I feel like I'm constantly trying to prove to I don't know who that I can be successful, that I can do it. So this could literally be on point for a lot of Libras. I definitely feel like sometimes when we're trying to achieve this, we kind of miss this day-to-day thing. We forget to live in the moment. And it could be where the exhaustion card is, where people are overworking themselves. Where did I see it? No, I saw it. There we go. We're overworking ourselves to a point that we're not allowing ourselves to bask in and be harmonious. And it's crazy because we need it. We need the balance. We need the balance. A lot of us are spirit connected, and we're being spirit guided towards something that is a little bit more free flowing for us, because spirit could be telling a lot of Libras right now, you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted. You need to get some rest. You need to pull back. You need to connect with spirit. And that could lead you to success other than overworking yourself, stressing yourself out, using anger to motivate yourself, not letting go of things from the past, clinging to things that could have been with a father figure or just a parent that maybe could have been a female but been more masculine energy. I do feel for some of us, we are afraid to be alone. I need a partner. I don't want to be by myself. But for a lot of us, the way to grow would be in this moment, being alone, connecting with ourselves. That would probably bring about healing to a lot of Libras. So for some of you, you could be fighting this. It could be you're moving from relationship to relationship to relationship because you're trying to connect to somebody. You're looking for that partner that's going to heal you, or you're looking for that person that's going to complete you, or you're looking for that person to give you what your parent didn't give you. For some of you, you literally are trying to heal something that happened in your past. But to do it, you may have to pull away and become a hermit and spend some time to yourself. For some of you, with the control aspect of it, it may be really, really hard. I do see that for some of you, with the Tough Shit Tarot, we have control issues, and it's because you want to dictate how the healing is going to take place. You want to dictate your relationship. So this could be somebody who gets in a relationship and it's like, okay, we're going to do it my way. I love you, but we're going to do it my way. Let's try it this way. Some of you may be alphas. You like to take charge. You may even feel like you know more than your partners. I feel that there is this issue with putting yourself on a pedestal, having very high standards, and you expect the people that come into your life to be on the same level. And sometimes you could come off as a control freak within your relationships or within your work. And this could be romantic or in business. Some of you may have over lofty expectations of yourself and the people around you. And it could cause some stress when you don't get what you want. I feel like that could be why some Libras constantly are searching for the partner, searching for a person. And it could cause some of us to go through partners um, back to back to back, or for a few, take your time and not take a partner because you're not finding what your expectation is in a person. Could be high. I'm not going to say lower your expectations, but for some of us, we need to get more realistic with our expectations. I feel for some of us, we tend to still throw these tantrums when we don't get what we want. You may stop talking to people, pull back from people because you're not moving forward. You may become very defensive when you're questioned. This is something that some of you may have learned in childhood where, if I don't get my way, then if I do this, then I'm going to do it. There's a control aspect to your behavior with the people around you. So for some of us, we could literally be manipulating people, and not maliciously or not trying to, but we end up doing it because there's a certain part of us that wants an outcome, and we can. And it could be because we learned this in an early age. I see for some of us, there could be a pride thing where you could be definitely not wanting to seem less than who you feel like you are. You could be holding yourself accountable to a level that other people are not able to connect with you. So for some of you, this could cause you to be very charismatic, very people oriented, but it's because you're putting on a show for people. Not everybody, but for some, it kind of goes back to that fakeness where you could be presenting yourself a certain way because you want to be seen that way from people, and it's important to you. For some of you, you may have to be really careful because this could be become narcissistic behavior, where it's like, okay, look at me, do what I say, and if there's something wrong, it's not my problem, it's not my fault. It could be you. You may be the one that's not, the right way, or it's your issue, which could cause us to be seen as manipulators and narcissistic. For some of us, we could be holding on to relationships too long that maybe we felt at some point were, they elevated us. They gave us some sort of power. And now we could be coming to this thing where we have to kind of cut ties with people and realize that they're not conducive to our growth. Either they're enabling us, or we have come to a point where we've manipulated a situation where we no longer get anything out of it. I feel like for some Libras, there's this I don't want to say come to Jesus moment, but this epiphany of who am I? Some of you could be in the midst of spiritual growth where you're kind of looking at yourself and going, okay, who am I? Why are these people around me? You could be configuring your circle around you. For some of you, this is growth. You could literally be having this moment where you're starting to heal. Who am I? What do I really want? Maybe I need to pull away from somebody to see who I really am. Some of you, it definitely shows that you are going to be letting go to heal. This could be letting go of friendships. This could be letting go of situations. This could be letting go of people, and literally letting go. Not rehashing it, not getting triggered every time it comes up on your Instagram or your Twitter or your Facebook or in a conversation, but literally letting go. If you have somebody that keeps poking at you, Libra, and it keeps triggering you, some of you are going to be walking away from this situation. Some of you, it may require some therapy to get past these parent triggers, especially if it has something to do with your father, and you having this exaggerated sense that you're supposed to be more or do more, but you can't attain what this person wanted for you. So for some of you, I definitely feel like there could be some therapy when it comes to your childhood. letting go of unrealistic expectations and goals that you learned in a childhood and that now you're putting on other people in your life, or you're putting on yourself, that are not attainable, which is causing you to be exhausted. It's taking this away from you. I can't go with the flow because I got to do everything. I got to make money. I got to be the star. I got to do in the spotlight. I got to be there for everybody. I got to be in love. I got to have the happy family. And it's exhausting you. So some of you have to learn, or you are going to learn how to go with the flow. And this is spirit guided. They're bringing you to a place of harmony because they're trying to let you know that you don't have to be everything to attain the success. Maybe finding your balance is going to bring you here. But if you keep going this route, you're going to be exhausted. You're going to be too tired. You're going to be too overwhelmed. You got to get back to this harmony. So for some of you, you're definitely going to be dealing with childhood trauma, childhood regression, letting go of this anger, being defensive. Every time somebody pokes you, you're ready to fight. Or needing to fight because you don't have a voice. We got two different ways. Some are not asserting themselves. Some, every time the wind blows, they're ready to do a beat down. So we keep bringing back, or we keep going back to the harmony, balance, which as a Libra, we understand this. We can't be this 24/7. Sometimes we have to kind of go back over to this thing. We have to be alone. So for some of us, we need it. We need that space to grow, to see who we are, to get our balance. So for some of you, you might be challenged with this because if you've been going 24/7, pushing, looking for love, making connections, working, trying to get money, chasing success because you're trying to show people who you are, what you can be. For some of you, slowing down is going to be your Achilles heel. I can't slow down because then people are going to think I'm weak. I can't ease up because the money won't come in. And then, whatever my parents said to me as a child, or you never going to be anything, is going to happen. So for some of you, you are battling some childhood programming that is going against who you are now, and you're struggling with it. There's depression, there's anxiety, and some of you are using this to become control freaks, overworkers, workaholics, because you're trying to prove something to someone else, and it's not just you. You may feel like it, but it's not just you. It's going back to a time where somebody told you that you weren't worthy, that you didn't have any worth to them, or maybe possibly you didn't have any worth to this world. And some of you are dead set on proving it, almost to the detriment of yourself. So Libras, I hope that connects. I know it was deep. It wasn't so bad because some of the things I can completely relate to: workaholic, proving myself, wanting to elevate myself, standards being maybe too high, unrealistic, some things that I need to work on, not being able to make love connections the right way because maybe my expectations of the person that I'm thinking about don't even exist. So for some of us, we're in this place where we're looking for something that may be unrealistic, or we're either settling for something that is not what we want. So Libras, this has been your look at yourself. I hope it helps. Tell me in the comments if you relate. If it helps, we might add this on. If it doesn't, then just keep scrolling on. All right, Libras?